Hi everyone, welcome. This is Deveva and welcome to our tea party. I do have a laptop on the left hand side, so I see that we already have 6 guests that have arrived, so welcome. I'm going to try and read the comments. Hi. Hi, Three Marias. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you could join us again. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. So if you weren't with us on Monday, we had our fairy tea party, and the Three Marias are joining us from Maryland. Right, ladies? Oh, and I wanted to say, if anyone would like to take any pictures of the tea party and post it on our event, we would really appreciate it. Let's see. Hi, Aria from Springfield. So we're in the same neighborhood. Welcome back. We'll see if anyone else. So if you are joining us, if you could just let us know what your name is, where you live, if you're with any brothers or sisters with you, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see. Right before, as we're waiting for a couple of more guests, just remember we have to wash our hands before we start the tea party, okay? All right. So can everyone hear me? If you just want to do a little wave or a smiley face, I'd appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down at the tea table. So if everyone would like to get situated. Hi, Belle and Bradley. I think you were with us on Monday. Welcome back. All right. So as I had mentioned at our first tea party, it's okay if we don't have a teapot or a teacup or saucer, because we're all about imagination and imagination play. So right here is my teacup. So I have a different one from Monday. So I actually have a big collection of teacups that I've had my mom has given to me, or my grandmother, or special friends that have given me teacups as gifts. So I suggest, if you really enjoy tea parties and tea, that you start collecting those special teacups that you have, or teapots. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, so for those of you that are joining us again, or I'm sorry, for the first time, so this is in my teapot. If you want to share what you'll be drinking today, it doesn't have to necessarily be tea. It could be juice, water, lemonade, so anything that you would like to sip on in your teacup. So I have, actually in my teapot today, I have chamomile tea. So there's 2 reasons why I chose chamomile, and one of them is because, I don't know if you've noticed behind me, but we have a special guest today, and that is our favorite rabbit, Peter. And in the story that we're going to read about him, he's going to drink tea at the end of the story, and you'll find out why. So the chamomile tea is probably one of my favorites. So at night, if I'm having a little bit of a hard time sleeping, chamomile will actually help relax you and just kind of calm your nerves a little bit. So that's why chamomile is one of my favorites, and it's also Peter Rabbit's mom. Let's see, so here is my teacup and saucer, teaspoon. So you want to set all of your items just carefully in front of you at the tea table. This is your plate for your desserts. And here is for your cream or milk, if you'd like to add that to your tea. And here is our sugar caddy, if you'd like to add some sugar cubes or a little bit of a teaspoon of sugar. So you don't need a lot of sugar in your teacup, because as you can see, the teacup is not that very big. So just usually 1 little cube or 1 little teaspoon is more than enough. And also, I think Arya had mentioned on Monday that you like to have lemon or honey, right, with your tea. So there's many different options that you can do just to add in there. And then what I did is today I brought a special teacup with saucer and plate for Peter Rabbit. So we'll keep that in the front. All right, so I'm going to start pouring my tea. Have a little sip. So it is funny that Monday it was raining and now today it's raining. And let's see. Oh, okay, so the 3 Marias are drinking tangerine tea with honey. Sounds very yummy. All right, so you just want to be careful when you're pouring your teapot, especially if it's hot. You want to pour it slowly in the teacup, just like that. And just carefully place it down, even if it's not hot tea. Let's see, so Nayeli, is it your daughter or son that's with us? And you are drinking vanilla apple tea. Ooh, I've never tried that before. That sounds really yummy. And let's see, so we have the Rowe brothers, 3 brothers, and Mom is making us. I like that. Well, you know, tea parties are not just for the young ladies. It's also for gentlemen. So I do host different tea parties, and you'll have gentlemen joining the ladies. So it's enjoyable for everyone. So if the 3 Rowe brothers, do you have your teacups or cups ready so that we can start pouring our tea in our tea cups? And then Farah. So Farah, is it your daughter or son that's joining us? They are drinking green tea with honey and lemon. Yes, green tea is actually one of my other favorites. I like to drink that in the morning. So, very nice. All right, if you have your teacup ready, cheers. And one thing I didn't mention before, and I should have, is our napkin. So if you do have a napkin and it's folded, we will go ahead. Sorry, Miss Farah, Aria. We're going to unfold our napkin just like we did on Monday. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, do you know why we have to unfold our napkin and place it gently on our laps? Any of the other guests would like to share? So we have Maria that's just joined us with Gabrielle and Adela, and you are sipping on water. Very nice. Hi, Evelyn. How are you? How are you doing? So welcome all of our new guests. Thank you for introducing yourself. As we were doing introductions and we were talking about the tea in our tea party, I'm not quite sure if I did my introduction, but my name can be a little bit hard to pronounce, but my name is Deveva. And let's see, so Catherine's daughter is Emily, and you're drinking honey tea. So very nice. So I know with this weather outside and it's all rainy and dreary that it's nice to have some hot tea. So again, my name's Deveva, and I know that a couple of you, seeing on the comments that you live in Springfield. So I've been living in Springfield for about 15 years. I was originally born in England, and I came here when I was 11. So growing up, I've always loved tea. You know, with my mom, we drink tea in the morning, after lunch, before we go to bed. And tea party was always a big thing for me too. So that's why as an adult, I continue to have tea parties. And I host them at different, for children and adults, for birthdays, special occasions. And so I'm really excited that you're here today in my tea room. And next time when we have a tea party and the weather is good, I promise we will go to our garden outside. So I have like a little corner where I have little fairy houses and gnomes and little flowers. So I can't wait to show you the garden. But we'll go ahead and we're going to drink. So I'm going to sip a little bit more. And I actually do have a glass of water too, just to help with, excuse me, when I get thirsty. So let's see. So I'm going to move everything over. And before we start with our story, does anyone want to share what finger foods we have today? So again, it's Monday. I do not have any finger foods with me. I am adjusting staying at home, so it seems like I'm eating a lot later in the day. So that's why I don't have any finger foods. But what I'm imagining for myself would be, hi Gabby, how are you? I miss you. You need to come join me in the tea room one day. Let's see, I would have mini cupcakes. I love red velvet with rainbow sprinkles on top. Finger sandwiches, I love cucumber. Turkey sandwiches. And probably some chocolate chip mini cookies. Yeah, that's what would be on my dessert plate. So if you want to share what you would like. And let's see, so Catherine, oh, you also live in Springfield. Okay, so Bradley and Bella, you have mixed fruits and chocolates, and cucumber. And so then we have cucumber and carrot salad mixed with fruits and chocolates. Very nice. The Three Marias have mini crackers and slices of tangerines. Very nice. And I will say the Three Marias, I'm very impressed with all of your cooking, how you help your mom with prepping food at lunch, dinner, breakfast. I'm very, very impressed. And let's see, Emily prepared her mini sandwiches with chocolate chip cookies and raisins. Let's see, Gabby has Girl Scout cookies, Samoas and lemon ups, chicken salad, and mini sandwiches. So we actually had some Samoas too, and now we regret not buying more from our neighbor, Hadley. So Hadley, if you were online with us, she's actually 2 doors down, and you have any Girl Scout cookies, please let me know so we can buy some more from you. What else do we have on the tea table? Cream cheese and cucumber sandwiches, chocolate dippers, and the toddlers, oh no, the toddlers made havoc on the treats. Sorry. Just make sure that you are always just washing your hands after you're done, and sticky fingers. So have you noticed something while we're talking? I actually have had my hands on my lap. So we're not putting our hands, elbows on the table or slouching like this. We want to sit upright and just have our hands on our laps until we eat. Okay, and Lilia, welcome. What is your daughter's name? If you wanted to share that, and you are having Oreo cookies. So very nice. So Lilia's daughter, I always see your pictures on Facebook with you and your, I guess it's your nephew, right? Lilia, your grandson. And yeah, I'm really excited that everyone's here. So we have a really big tea table with a lot of guests with us. So I'm very excited. So let me move things over just so I don't knock things over with the story time. And I'm also going to bring the camera a little bit closer because the book behind me is pretty small. So let's see. So Adela and Gabilando have joined us. And let's see, Lilia, your grandson is called Sebastian. Uh-oh. Let's see. And it's Catherine. Hi, Catherine. All right. Okay. So I can't see any other comments right now, so I'm sorry if... Did we get disconnected? No. Okay. All right. So let me move some things over. If everyone wants to just keep on drinking their tea, nibble on their food, make sure that while we're eating that we're not chewing with our mouth open, right? I'll knock this over. What else? What are also some manners that we have at the tea table? And I apologize that I can't see the comments right now. But please share. I think I'm going to leave Peter Rabbit's teacup over here. He'll probably get thirsty. All right, so let's get started. Again, I did say that I'm going to move the camera, so just give me one moment. Oops. I'll adjust that. How's everyone doing? Are they enjoying their food? Let's see. I'm going to scoot this over like that so we can see Peter Rabbit. There we go. And if you hear a little bit of yelling out of excitement, my two younger boys are playing online, so I have told them to shh while I tell a story. Okay. All right. So I think I'm close enough. Like I had mentioned, my book is really small. It's a cute book. So I will read the words and then show you the pictures so that it can get closer. So how many of my tea party guests have read the book, Peter Rabbit? If you want to go ahead and post that. For some reason, I'm not seeing that many comments. They're not coming through. All right, so why don't we get started? So this is the tale of Peter Rabbit. So I did also want to mention that there are a series of books on all of the friends of Peter Rabbit. So in a future date, we will have a tea party with each individual book. So you can get to meet Peter Rabbit's friends. So let's see. All right. Okay, so like I said, I will bring the picture closer if we need to. Okay. All right, so I see several people have the book. Yes, I actually, my mom used to read this book to me since I was a little girl. So I've read this to my boys when they were younger too. So I've always loved this book. All right, let's get started. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in the sandbank underneath the roof of a very big fir tree. "Now, my dears," said Mrs. Rabbit one morning, "you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden." "Your father had an accident there, and he was put in the pie by Mrs. McGregor." Oh no. "Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out." Then Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. So currant buns is like a sweet bread for us. And sometimes they have raisins on top. It's really good. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather some blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden. Uh-oh. And he squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuce, and then some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. This sounds like something that the three Marias would prepare for lunch. Right, ladies? And then, because he ate so much, he started feeling rather sick. He went to look for some parsley. But round the end of the cucumber frame, who should he meet? Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake, calling out, "Stop, thief, stop!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten his way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages. Uh-oh. He lost his other shoe amongst the potatoes. Uh-oh, he's barefoot now. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster and faster, so that I think he might have gotten away, if he had not unfortunately run into the goose and got caught by the large buttons into the net. He had brass buttons that were quite new in his new blue jacket. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed some big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in great excitement and told him not to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with it's called a sieve, but it's almost like a pan, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter to keep him trapped, but Peter wiggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. So now he doesn't have his shoes, he doesn't have his jacket, and he rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been beautiful thing to hide in if it did not have water. So now he's cold, he's wet. Poor Peter Rabbit. So Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each pot. See that? Presently, Peter sneezed. Achoo! Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. He's probably getting a cold, right? All right. Let's see. And he tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of the window, upsetting 3 plants, so they fell to the ground. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to his work. He said, "Never mind, I'm not going to ever catch that rabbit." Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath, trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with sitting in that can. So now he's lost in the garden, and he can't figure out how to escape. After a time, he began to wander around, just going lippity-lippity, not very fast, looking all around. He found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for the big little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans for her family in the wood. Peter asked her, "Do you know the way where the gate is?" But she had so much food and a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him, and Peter began to cry. So I think he's getting worried now. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of the hoe. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Peter scuttered underneath the bushes. He's scared. But presently, as nothing had happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing the onions, digging out the onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Uh-oh. How's he going to go around Mr. McGregor to find the gate? Peter got down very quietly off of the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could along a straight walk behind some black currant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner of his eye, but Peter did not care. He quickly slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. That was very brave of him. So, Mr. McGregor hung up his little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. So he did eventually find his jacket and his shoes. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to the big fir tree. I think you can see in the picture, he's so tired and cold and relieved. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking, and she looks over and she wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. So a fortnight means a month. I am very sorry to say Peter was not very well during the evening. I think he caught a cold, right? Because he was in all of that in the wet can and he had no shoes and no jacket. So his mother put him to bed and made him some chamomile tea. And she gave him a dose of it to Peter. One tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime. So that was going to help him with his cold. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread, milk, and blackberries for supper. The end. All right. So I hope you enjoyed our story with Peter Rabbit today. And next week we are going to have 2 more tea parties with different themes. And then we're going to add some more of the Peter Rabbit friends. And we're going to also have some crafts next week. So I hope you can join us. Thank you so much again for joining me at the tea party, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.